Hey everyone, welcome to That's Good Denver. I'm your host Chris Romeo, and this is a breakdown of the Nuggets beating the Phoenix Suns in 6 games. What a series it was. The Nuggets take down the Suns 4 games to 2. It was a great series to watch. Jokic had a great series. Jamal Murray stepped up when he needed to at times, and Kevin Durant and Devin Booker were the only guys we needed to worry about. And the Nuggets are moving on to the Western Conference Finals. It's a great feeling. Nuggets going back to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2020, the year they were in the bubble, and they'll be getting a rematch of the Western Conference Finals against the LA Lakers. I'll get more into that later. But a breakdown of the Suns series. Denver won the first 2 games of the series. They won their first 2 home games. Then we went back to Phoenix. Phoenix won their next 2 home games to tie the series at 2-2. Phoenix had momentum. Then in Game 5, Nuggets prevailed at home, dominating in Game 5 at home, and then blew out the Suns in Game 6 at Phoenix, getting their first win in Phoenix all year to move on to the Western Conference Finals. To break it down, well, first of all, good series Suns, but yeah, I'm so glad we beat the Suns, because if the Suns would have beaten us for the second time in 3 years, if they would have beaten us this year, I would have been hearing all the trash talk all summer, because I have Suns fans at Bethel and Suns fans in Arizona, and I wouldn't ever hear the ending to it. So I'm glad we beat them, and glad we got a revenge from 2 years ago when they swept us. So in Game 1 at Denver, Nuggets won 125-107. In the first quarter, it was a high-scoring game, both teams going back and forth. Jokic, Jamal Murray was having a good game, and Suns led at the end of one, 32-31. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker were doing good like we expected. Then the second quarter, where the Nuggets flipped the switch, Nuggets dominated, got really hot from the three-point range. Aaron Gordon started hitting some shots from three. So did Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And Denver outscored the Suns 37-19 as they took a 68-51 lead going into halftime. That was huge. Then in the third quarter, the Suns tried to battle back a little bit. They outscored us like 30-26 in that quarter, and they were able to cut it to like 13 going in the fourth. Jamal Murray was still having himself a game, going off in the third, getting some help around Jokic, and the Suns wouldn't go away yet. Then the fourth quarter, about 5 minutes in, the Suns were able to cut it to 10 at one point, but they wouldn't get any closer. Nuggets got some big buckets from Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic to ice the game, and Nuggets went up by 20, and they ended up winning in garbage time, 125-107 to go up 1-0 on the series. That was when I arrived at Denver. Then Game 2, the game I went to in Denver, Colorado, you can see some highlights of when I went to the game in Denver. This is a low-scoring game. Nuggets won 97-87. In the first quarter, it was pretty much just Jokic carrying the way. He had like 11 of the Nuggets' first 16 or 18 points. And Devin Booker had a good quarter for the Suns, so it was pretty much Devin Booker and Nikola Jokic as the Suns led at the end of one, and at the first quarter, 21-18. And I also got to meet the Nuggets announcer Chris Marlowe at the game. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I got to see him. And yeah, it was a great time at the game. The start of the game wasn't great because it was ugly, but in the second quarter, Nuggets were able to battle back, take the lead back, and then it was back and forth as the Suns led going on a halftime 42-40. Still not much help around Jokic offensively. Jamal Murray was having a bad game. Devin Booker was pretty much carrying the way as Kevin Durant wasn't really doing much. So the Suns led going on a halftime 42-40. Then in the third quarter, the Suns started to take control. Devin Booker was getting hot from mid-range, so was Chris Paul. Until he left the game, Chris Paul did. And then KD was starting to get hot. Suns led by like 8 at one point with like 4 minutes left in the third. Then uh, Michael Porter Jr. got a steal and a dunk and one to try to give us some momentum back, and Jokic got a couple buckets to cut the Suns' lead to 73-70 going into the fourth quarter. Nuggets were still undefeated when I saw them in person. Could they keep the undefeated streak? So going into the fourth, they were down by 3, but our defense started to tighten up. Denver's defense, which also tightened up in Game 1. Our defense was able to play very well in Game 2, holding the Suns only 10 points in the quarter. Then Jokic just took over. Jamal Murray got a timely bucket. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope hit three big threes in that quarter to give the Nuggets a 76-73 lead. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was able to hit another three to extend the Nuggets' lead, and Jokic was able to put the game away, and the Nuggets were able to win that game 97-87. Nuggets are 6-0 now when I see them in person. That was a great game to watch. It was an ugly game, but Nuggets were able to grind out a close, low-scoring game. Then in Game 3, back to Phoenix. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker had great games. End of the first quarter, I can't remember what the score was. I think it was like Nuggets were up by 2, 31-29. Then the second quarter, the Suns were able to dominate, and Devin Booker was going off, making every shot. And then Suns led in the halftime up by 15. Then in the third quarter, the Nuggets were able to battle back, get some timely stops in the first 6 minutes, and all of a sudden the Nuggets cut it to a 2-point game after Michael Porter Jr. got going, and so did Jamal Murray. Then the Nuggets took a 1-point lead, but then the Suns battled back, took the lead in the fourth quarter. Devin Booker at the end of the night had 47 points, and Kevin Durant had a good game. And the Suns were able to battle back, take a 10-point lead, and able to hold on, win 121-114. Suns got their first win of the series to cut it to 2-1 in the series. Game 4 in Phoenix. It was another high-scoring game. The thing was, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant were going off in the series, but the Suns weren't getting any help around them for a majority of the series, which eventually caught up to them. But in Game 4, at the end of one, Nuggets led by like 3. Nuggets got off to a good start in the first quarter, but then the Suns were able to battle back, take the lead in the second. Devin Booker was hitting every shot again. I think he was like 20 for 25 at the end of the night. Then Kevin Durant was able to get going. Suns led going into halftime. It was back and forth in the third quarter. Denver took the lead. Phoenix took the lead. And then kept going back and forth between the Nuggets and Suns. And Suns led at the end of the third quarter. Devin Booker was having himself a game. Jokic was having himself a game, but no help around him. Jokic had 53 points and 11 rebounds at the end of the night. A career high for Jokic. Then Jokic was able to get the Nuggets within striking distance, but wasn't able to get much help around him offensively, and the defense wasn't able to get stops at the right time, so that's how the Suns won by final score, I think like 129-120. So the Suns tied up the series, and the Suns had momentum in the series. Then in Game 5, it was a pivotal game. Nuggets got off to a good start in the first quarter. Jokic got going, so Michael Porter Jr. had 14 points in the first quarter. He had a big first quarter, but the Suns were able to battle back in the second quarter to come all the way back. Nuggets couldn't get any buckets in the second quarter because they weren't able to get help around Jokic. The Suns took the lead in the second quarter. Then Nuggets were able to battle back with a Jokic 3 and lead going to halftime 52-49. Wasn't looking that great for Denver, but they were able to get going again in the third quarter. Jokic got some timely buckets. So did Jamal Murray and Bruce Brown coming off the bench. Bruce Brown had 21 points at the end of the night. Nuggets led by 10 going to the fourth quarter, able to hold Kevin Durant and Devin Booker to reasonable points. Then Nuggets were able to dominate the fourth quarter. Michael Porter Jr. got a couple big buckets. So did Bruce Brown with Jokic, and Nuggets were able to win that game. A big Game 5. They won final score was like 122 to 108. Nuggets won by like 15 or 16. Yeah, so either way, Nuggets got the job done in Game 5. In Game 6, a chance for the Nuggets to end the series, a chance for Phoenix to stay alive and force a Game 7. And Nuggets got off to a great start in the first quarter. Jokic had a great first quarter. So did Kentavious Caldwell-Pope coming off the bench defensively and offensively. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope had like 15 points in the first quarter. Nuggets led at the end of the first quarter 44-26. We were able to hold Kevin Durant and Devin Booker to the ground. Then in the second quarter, Nuggets were able to keep their offense going, getting good help around Jokic, Jamal Murray, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, both having outstanding offensive games. Nuggets led at halftime 81-51. That is the most Nuggets scored in their franchise. That's the most Nuggets scored in Nuggets history in a first half, 81-51. Suns were able to battle back in the third quarter to cut it to a 22-point game. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant got going, but the Nuggets just kept scoring offensively. And then the fourth quarter, the game was pretty much over. Nuggets led by 27, and then our bench was able to come in. Bruce Brown, Reggie Jackson were able to close the deal, and Nuggets won 125-100 to move. That's how they moved on to the Western Conference Finals. They'll have a rematch with the LA Lakers. And the Nuggets got the dub, getting a revenge against the Phoenix Suns. That's how they did it. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker had great series, but we were able to hold our own against them. And Jokic played out of his mind. Jamal Murray came up when he needed to. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, way to step up in Game 6. And that's how the Nuggets got the job done. And so Nuggets will play the Lakers in this next round. It's going to be a great series. Lakers just beat the Warriors in 6 games. I'm honestly glad we're playing the Lakers instead of the Warriors, even though we don't match up well against the Lakers. It's going to be a tough series. Anthony Davis knows how to guard Jokic, but doesn't mean the Nuggets can't win the series. They'll have home court, and the series starts tomorrow on Tuesday. And the winner of the Nuggets-Lakers will go to the NBA Finals to play the winner of the Heat and Celtics in the other round. So, yeah, let's go, baby. Nuggets got the dub. Down to 4 teams left in basketball. Nuggets are one of them. Have a chance to win their first ever championship, or at least go to their first ever championship. Hopefully get past the Lakers. Hopefully get a revenge against the Lakers too. This is one of the best Nuggets teams ever, I think. But yeah, Nuggets beat the Suns in 6 games. Very happy that we got a revenge, and now we'll move on to the third round against the Lakers. And yeah, my trip to Denver was great. Going to that Nuggets-Suns game, and I watched the Kraken take on the Avalanche in Game 7, and the Avalanche lost, and their season came to an end. But yeah, it was a great time in Denver, and got to see the Nuggets take down the Phoenix Suns. But yeah, that's it, everybody. I'm Chris Romeo. Like, subscribe, comment. I'll keep you updated on what's going on in the playoffs, and I'll try to get a breakdown series of the Lakers-Nuggets, even though I'll be busy at my camp in Frankfort, Illinois. I'm going to try to get a recap of the Lakers-Nuggets series for sure, and I'll definitely be watching it either way. But yeah, I'm Chris Romeo. Glad we got the dub over the Suns. Let's beat the Lakers now. I'm Chris Romeo, and that's good Denver. Go Nuggets.